Hello, I'm Danny Crumno, and I am going to quickly go through here and look at some red dot sites. Now, I'm not paid by anybody. I paid full price for everything I've got, and I'm not sponsored by anybody, so you can pretty much take my word for it. Now, there is a big myth that's spreading about red dot sites, and I want to dispel that myth as much as I can. And that myth is that you put a red dot sight on your gun and then you decide you want a magnifier. Almost all of these dealers that I'm dealing with are telling you, and me, that when you put a magnifier on there, you do not have to sight it in, so it only magnifies what you see. Well, that is total BS, because this has been my experience. I'm going to show you two here. One is a Holosun 510 red dot sight, and I've got a magnifier on it, and it's a Holosun magnifier. I've also got a Sig red dot sight, and I've got a Sig magnifier on it. Now, the difference is that the Holosun, which I'll show you right here, I did not have to touch. You always start by sighting in the red dot up front. And when I put the magnifier on it, it was right on. My guess is that this is on a very level rail. The level was perfect, and it did just what the dealers say it would do. I didn't have to touch the magnifier. But the magnifier does have windage and elevation settings on it. And the deal is, with my Sig, this is on a CMMG Band G, by the way. With my Sig here, sighted in at 100 yards, but when I got sighted in at 100 yards, it was shooting, I put the magnifier down, it was shooting 8 inches high, which is way high. And these are both 45 ACP. And yeah, I did shoot it at 100 yards, and it sighted right in with the others. Of course, it, shot a pretty good group, but still, this one was 8 inches high, a full 8 inches high. And when I say that, the red dot sighted in perfect, but when I put the magnifier on it, it was way high. Well, I had listened to that story, and I didn't try to sight in my magnifier. Now, on the Sig here, the Sig also has a windage and an elevation setting on it. Now, the difference is this is an HK USC. And it's been modified. It's got a suppressor mount here. My suppressor's still in jail right now. And both of these guns were shot without a suppressor, so that wasn't making any difference. Now, everybody knows the Sig and the Holosun are high dollar red dots. I mean, they are good. And I'll give you my opinion of them here in just a minute. But there's one big difference here, and I'm going to show you this is going to be shaky. If you see the Sig right there, it has a up and down on the magnifier. On the side, it has left and right on the magnifier. Now, it kind of tells you that if they have that on there, you know that it's meant to move the bullet. Most of these dealers are going to be telling you that all that does is center your red dot in your magnifier. Well, I'm here to tell you it moves the bullet. After I moved the elevation and moved it down, this one sighted in perfect, just like the other one. And I kind of blame it, I guess I blame it, on the Sig, the HK-USC, which has a polymer rail on it, and it may not be completely level. I don't know, but I can tell you that if you sight in, you should always sight in your red dot first, and then when you flip your magnifier, if you're not hitting in the same place, you're going to have to move these. And the Sig has up and down elevation, and to get it right with your magnifier. Now, Holosun has the same thing, but if you'll notice on the Holosun, it does not have windage or elevation arrows indicating it. Now, somebody told me that on the Holosun it moves the opposite direction. Now, it could be because this Holosun is a different type red dot here. I don't know, but all I know is the Holosun I did not have to touch, and it does not have left and right on it or up and down, but it does have adjustments. Now, saying that, I'm warning you that you always sight in the red dot first. After you get it on, then you put the magnifier on it and make a shoot to point of aim. Now, everybody's going to ask me, which do you like better? Well, I gotta say the Holosun, and I'll tell you why. Number one, I like that circle and a dot, and the Holosun can be actually adjusted where you just have a circle, just have a dot, or a circle and a dot, both. They both, the Sig and the Holosun, have this shake awake feature. In other words, you get something like 50 or 60,000 hours of the sight being on, and the reason being, you lay it down and after 5 or 10 minutes this sight turns itself off. Just as soon as you touch it and try to pick it up, both of them come on automatically, so you never really have to turn them off. They both have manual settings on them. I don't use it. I leave them on all the time. Now, the difference is the Holosun also has this little solar panel here. And when you go out in the sun, the sunlight will pick that up and power the dot, and you won't be on battery power. Also, I can't remember if the Sig has it or not, but the Holosun has automatic on it. In other words, if I'm in the dark, the dot or the circle and the dot gets dimmer so it's not so bright, and if I'm on the light, it automatically lightens up. Now, the other thing I like about the Holosun, and this is a 510C, I believe is the numbers on it. The magnifier just flips over just like that. You do not have to do anything to it. You can flip it back and forth. It's held on, feels like magnets. I don't know what it is, but anyhow, it's pretty solid. You get out in the field, and I may use this for coyote hunting. I like to hunt in the brush and lay down on the ground and hide, and this would be ideal. You know, yeah, shotgun is good, but it's just not going to be as fun as this. But anyhow, I do prefer the Holosun. They're both pretty close in price, and that's the reasons. Now, the Sig Sauer, or Sig, I should say. I don't know if it's Sig Sauer or not. The difference in the Sig is you have to press this button to make the magnifier move, which is not a big deal. Back and forth. But what really sold me on the Sig, and the Sig is just a single dot, is the battery. All this uses is one AA battery in here. Now, I would suggest that if you got this in here, I'd use lithium batteries, and I'd change them out every year. You know, this thing liable to go, you know, no telling how many years before it runs down, but I'd change it. Also, the Sig has these little flip deals that come on it. I like those. The Sig also has caps here. And again, I'm going to draw your attention. I don't know if you can see it, but if you notice on that elevation, it says up and down. The Sig has little caps that cover the adjustments, which I think that is good. Both of these are very good companies. I wouldn't own them if they were cheap junk, but I don't think you'd go wrong either way. But I do like the circle and the dot. Now, if I was in the military, really needing to access my sights fast, I probably would turn the dot off and just use the circle. But anyhow, that's just a little words of wisdom there. Oh, by the way, to get this back, you still have to press the button one more time. So, a little word of advice: if you've got a red dot and you're thinking about getting a magnifier, or you're going to buy both at the same time, and I would suggest that because my guess is these glasses are concave, and if you're off just a little bit, then that might be a problem. You know, it just doesn't line up exactly perfect. You'll need to adjust this, but be aware that this does move the impact of the bullet, and the dealers will tell you that all it does is center your dot in your reticle. Well, that is total BS. It moves the impact of your bullet. It did on mine, and I had to sight it in. It hit perfect now. And the Sig, this is called a Romeo and Juliet. This is a Romeo 7, I believe, is what I've got on here. And I really like that AA battery. But I also like the caps and all of that. So, anyhow, just a little words of wisdom there. If you really are interested, which gun do I like better? That has to be the CMMG. And I'll tell you why. The CMMG, which is this one, is just as accurate at 100 yards as this one with a 16-inch barrel. And the CMMG is sort of similar to a AR-15. The only thing is, if you take these apart, be aware that the firing pin on the CMMG, when you pull out the Carter key of the bolt, the firing pin's going to shoot up in the air. So be aware of that. What I don't like about the HK is that you have to take out these two bolts to clean it and field strip it. Now, of course, you can clean the barrel without it, but to do a good cleaning, you have to take out these two bolts, and it'll come apart, and the bolt will fall out and all that. But I don't like that much. For some reason, taking bolts and screws apart to clean something just don't sound right to me. But anyhow, words of wisdom, take it or leave it. I know I didn't prove it to you by shooting the targets, but if you're going to listen to those dealers, more power to you, because if you screw this over to get that in the perfect center for your eye, you're probably screwing up your red dot. And you're not going to be happy with it, and then you can't figure out why, and all the internet forums and everybody are trying to tell you that, hey, you don't just move your dot, you don't move your impact, your bullet. Well, that's BS. And there is a guy on the internet that proves it by shots. I don't have the link right now, but he actually videoed sighting his end, and it was off the magnifier, and he shows that as he sights it in with the red dot, gets perfect shots, flips the magnifier, it's pretty far off. So, words of wisdom. Thanks for watching.